In the previous lecture, we have already seen 5 phylums. In this lecture, we are going to see the next phylums. Okay, we are starting with the 6th phylum, name is phylum Annelida. The meaning of annulus means ring. So, this phylum, animals of these phylums, also called as ringworms or segmented worms, because they are having segments on their body, so called as segmented worms or ringworms. Okay, animals of these phylums are aquatic, few are ectoparasitic. Ectoparasitic means the parasites which lives on the surface of the host are called as ectoparasite, and endoparasites which are living inside the body of the host called as endoparasite. So animals of Annelida phylums are ectoparasites or free living, or they are burrowing in the moist soil. So they are present in aquatic form mostly, but they are few of them are also moist in the burrowing in the soil also, and few are ectoparasite. They are having bilateral body symmetry. That means if we cut the body, if we divide body into two parts, the parts of the body are nothing but the same, and they are metamerically segmented. That means their body is segmented. Okay, in the phylum Annelida, animals of this phylum are having clitellum. It is a special organ, or it is a special part of the body. So clitellum is present in case of the Annelida animal. Locomotion takes place with the help of circular and longitudinal muscles. So in case of animals of phylum Annelida, circular and longitudinal muscles are present. You can see on your screen the examples of phylum Annelida. In that, earthworm is there, leech is there, and Nereis is there. Earthworm is also called, the scientific name is Pheretima. Okay, and leech is called as Hirido. Okay, so these are some examples of the phylum Annelida. So they are having circular and longitudinal muscles for the locomotion. So these different animals, leech, earthworms and Nereis, are having different locomotory parts. These are nothing but, in case of earthworms, they are having setae for the locomotion. In case of Nereis, they are having parapodia for the locomotion. And in case of leech, they are having suckers for the locomotion. So locomotion with the help of different parts, earthworms in earthworms setae, in Nereis parapodia, and in leech suckers. But the locomotion takes place with the help of circular and longitudinal muscles. The alimentary canal of the animals of this phylum is complete. Okay, and the exchange of gases takes place through the body wall. That means whatever the respiration is there, exchange of gases is there, it is with the help of body wall. Okay, then the circulatory system is of closed type. Okay, closed type means the blood or the circulatory fluid, it is running through the veins and arteries. Okay, these are called as closed type of circulation. Arteries, and if the circulatory fluid is fluid into the artery and veins, then it is called as closed type of circulation. So circulatory system is of closed type in the Annelida phylum. And for the excretion and osmoregulation, there is a presence of nephridia. Now these are some important factors or important terms. They are having complete alimentary canal. For the exchange of gases, they are having body wall. circulatory system is of closed type, and for the excretion and osmoregulation they are having nephridia. Okay, talking about the nervous system, in the nervous system they are having nerve ring and ganglionated nerve cord. Okay, so nervous system is now well developed. They are having nerve ring as well as ganglionated nerve cords are also there. Okay, so they are having great they are having great sense sensation. Okay, these animals are hermaphrodites and few are dioecious. Hermaphrodite means both the sexes are present within one animal. These are called as bisexual or hermaphrodite. And few are dioecious. Dioecious means males are different, females are different. Example is the Nereis. Nereis is a dioecious animal. Okay, and hermaphrodite means both the sexes are present within the same animal, that is the earthworm. Okay, so this is about the phylum Annelida. They are generally called as the ringworms. Examples are Nereis, earthworm and leech. They are also called as segmented worms. They may be ectoparasite, they may be free living. Okay, and they may be burrowing in the soil. Okay, body symmetry is bilateral and metamerically segmented. Locomotion with the help of circulatory and longitudinal muscles. Different organs are present for the locomotion. Setae in earthworm, parapodia in Nereis, suckers in the leech. Alimentary canal, nervous system, circulatory system is well developed. Okay, nervous system is well developed because nerve rings and ganglionated nerve cords are present. These are hermaphrodites, mostly hermaphrodites, but few are dioecious animals. This is about the phylum Annelida. Then coming to the next phylum, seventh phylum called as phylum Arthropoda. Okay, the meaning of this, arthros means joint and podas means legs. That means arthropoda means the animals are having jointed appendages. Okay, the meaning of arthropoda is the animals are having jointed appendages. Remember student that phylum Arthropoda is the largest phylum of kingdom Animalia. That means we are having all the 11 phylums. In that, it is Arthropoda, it is the largest phylum of kingdom Animalia. The animals of these phylums are omnipresent. Omnipresent means they are present all over the worlds. Okay, that's why it is a largest kingdom, because they are present in all over the worlds. They are solitary or colonial. Means solitary means they maybe live in isolation, singly, or colonial means they may be living in the colony form. So both solitary and colonial forms are there. They are mostly free living, but few are sedentary. Okay, the animals of these phylums are mostly free living, but few of them are sedentary. For example is nothing but the barnacles are the sedentary animals. Okay, animals of these phylums are mostly parasitic. Okay, parasitic depends on the host, and sanguivorous. Sanguivorous means they are feeding on the blood sucking animals. Sanguivorous means blood sucking animals are included under the arthropoda. Okay, so examples of these phylums are nothing but all insects are included in this phylum. We know that in the world largest quantity is of insects. There are plenty of insects present on this earth. So that's why this is the largest phylum, because all insects are included under this phylum. Other than that, lobsters, prawn, mosquitoes, cockroaches, these are also included under the phylum Arthropoda. Because of this, it is a largest phylum. Okay, so these are bilaterally symmetrical, means body parts are same on both sides. These are triploblastic, means having 3 germ layers. They are eucoelomate and metamerically segmented. Their body is segmented. Okay, so they are metamerically segmented. The body plan is tube within tube body plan, and grade of organization is organ system level of organization. So this is about this animal, this phylum, how their body organization is there. Mostly insects are included in this phylum, so they are having tough chitinous exoskeleton is present on these animals, and they requires periodic molting of this. The molting is also called as ecdysis. What is the meaning of ecdysis or molting? Okay, periodically, according to the growth of the animal, they are having protective covering on their body, which is tough. But when they are growing, this becomes a limiting factor to them. So, as the time goes, they are shedding their external covering. Okay, and they form new external covering. That is called as the molting. They shed out their outer covering and forming new. This is called as the molting. It is very important in the phylum Arthropoda. So ecdysis is the process, or also called as molting is the process, and it is a characteristic feature of phylum Arthropoda. The body of animals is divided into head, thorax and abdomen. Okay, we have seen in the 11th standard we study the that is insects are having head, thorax and abdomen. Okay, body is divided into these 2 parts. They are having complete digestive system. Okay, now digestive system is well developed. They are having all the parts of digestive system and they are functioning well developed. Okay, circulatory system in these animals of this phylum, the circulatory system is of open type. Now here the circulatory system is open type. That means blood flows through the body cavity. Okay, that is also called as hemocoel. We have seen in case of Annelida closed type of circulatory system. That means the blood flows through the arteries and veins. Okay, but here it is the open type of circulatory system. That means the blood is flows through the body cavity. That is also called as the hemocoel. Okay, they are having different respiratory organs like that of the gills, trachea, book lungs. Okay, so respiration is also well developed. Gills, there may be presence of gills, there may be presence of trachea, or there may be presence of book lungs. So these are some of the respiratory organs. Talking about the excretory system, for the excretion in the arthropoda, Malpighian tubules are present. Now it is a characteristic feature of this phylum. For the excretion, presence of Malpighian tubules is the characteristic feature of the phylum Arthropoda. Okay. Then coming to the nervous system, presence of nerve ring and double ganglionated nerve cord. Now the nerve cord is double ganglionated nerve cord, and also there is a presence of nerve ring. The special characteristic of this phylum animals are they are having well developed sense organs. Okay, just like that of the antenna, compound eyes. Okay, these are some of the sense organs. Okay, it is the characteristic feature of phylum Arthropoda. Talking about the reproductive system, the sexes are separate in case of phylum Arthropoda. Okay, male and females are different. The fertilization is of internal type. That means the male and female gamete fuses or fertilize in the body of the animal, inside the body of the animal, so called as internal fertilization. Then in some animals parthenogenesis also occurs, that is in the honeybees or in the bugs. Parthenogenesis means what? The young ones are produced without fertilization. Okay, these are called as parthenogenesis. The animals which are produced without sexual reproduction or without fertilization, these are called as the process is called as the parthenogenesis, and animals are called as the parthenogenic animals. In some organisms there is a polymorphism. Okay, polymorphism also takes place in case of these animals. Example, in the honeybees, in the ants, and in the termites, the polymorphism can be seen. Okay, so there are some of the economic importance of these insects of this animals of this phylum. What are the economical importance? There are some insects which are economically important. That means apis. These are also called as honeybees. These are economically important. Okay, they are giving honey to us. Okay, they are helping for the pollination. Whatever the crops are there for the pollination, honeybees are very much important. Then Lacifera lacca, that means lac insect. Okay, it gives lac to us. Okay, it is very important. Then silkworms. Silkworms gives us thread, silks. Okay, in for the industry. So these are some economically important in animals of phylum Arthropoda. For the fishery, some of the arthropods are important, like that of the lobsters, prawns, and crabs. Okay, there are some harmful insects are also there. They act as a vector, that is mosquito, lice, okay, which cause damages. Okay, so these are some economical importance of phylum Arthropoda. Then the next phylum, that is the 8th phylum, called as phylum Mollusca. Mollis, meaning of the mollis is nothing but the soft. So these are soft bodied animals. Okay, the examples of these phylums are on your screen, that is Pila, octopus, sepia, pearl oyster, chiton, bivalve, lolico, etc. Okay, so these are some examples of the phylum Mollusca. They are soft bodied animals. You have already seen some of the animals of this phylum. Okay, it is the second largest phylum. Okay, that means after the Arthropoda, the second largest phylum is nothing but phylum Mollusca. Okay, the animals of this phylum may be free living or sedentary. That means they are free living, either they are free living or few of them are fixed or attached to the substratum. Okay, few of the animals of these phylums are terrestrial, few are aquatic, or few are in the marshy places. Okay, so they may be aquatic, present at the marshy places, or terrestrial. So they are having this type of living conditions. Okay, as I earlier told that they are soft bodied, they are having tube within tube body plan. Okay, then they are bilaterally symmetrical. Most of the animals of this phylum are bilaterally symmetrical, but few animals are asymmetrical due to the torsion. Okay, that is called as the twisting. In case of Pila, the torsion takes place. That means it is a characteristic feature. Torsion is only occurs in the animals of phylum Mollusca, especially in the Pila. torsion takes place. That means twisting of the organs takes place. Okay, then the body of the animals of these phylums is divided into head, foot, and visceral mass. Okay, so division is like that: head, foot, and visceral mass. We know that head and foot, but the visceral mass, it is enclosed in the thick mantle which secretes a hard calcareous cell. Okay, you know that you know some of the animals from this phylum, they are having calcareous cell on their body. Okay, and within that calcareous cell there is a presence of the visceral mass is there, and that visceral mass secretes a shell around them. Okay, for the protection purpose. So body is divided into head, foot, and visceral mass. Visceral mass is enclosed within the calcareous cell, and that calcareous cell is secreted by that visceral mass. Okay, then the digestive system is well developed and complete. Okay, with anterior mouth and posterior anus. So mouth and anus are present at the opposite side. Okay, and it is well developed and complete type of digestive system is there. Circulatory system is of open type. That means blood flows or the fluid flows through the body cavity, so called as open type of circulatory system. The respiratory pigment is blue colored. Okay, and it is called as hemocyanin. Now it is a characteristic feature. Hemocyanin, it is present in which phylum? The answer is phylum Mollusca. Okay, blue colored pigment, respiratory pigment present in case of molluscan animals called as hemocyanin. The excretion is occurs by the kidneys. Okay, and these are called as the organ of Bojunus. Okay, it can be asked for the multiple choice. Organ of Bojunus is present in which phylum? Answer is phylum Mollusca, organ of Bojunus. Hemocyanin is also present in case of phylum Mollusca. So such type of questions may be asked in the open exams like that of the JEE NEET, or in the multiple choice questions also in your exams. Okay, now coming to the nervous system. The nervous system is formed by three pairs of ganglia. Okay, now here the ganglionated nervous system is there. The three pairs of ganglions are present in the animals of this phylum. Reproduction, sexes are separate in these animals. So male and females are separate. These are the oviparous animals. That means egg laying. Oviparous means egg laying animals. The development may be direct or indirect. So sexes are separate. They are oviparous means they are egg laying animals, and the development is direct or indirect. Okay. Now another one characteristic feature of this phylum is there is a presence of rasping organ in their buccal cavity. Okay, in the buccal cavity they are having a rasping organ, and that is called as the radula. It is also a characteristic feature of Mollusca. Presence of radula in their buccal cavity is the characteristic feature of phylum Mollusca. Okay, now as I earlier told you the example of this phylum, the economic importance of this phylum. In this phylum there is a presence of pearl oyster. You know the pearls. Okay, these are used in the jewelries. Okay, pearls are are having economic importance. Okay, so economic importance of the pearl oysters, they gives precious pearls. The value of these pearls is unstoppable. Okay, they are very costly. So pearl oysters gives this type of pearls, and these pearl oysters are belonging to the phylum Mollusca. So this is about the phylum Mollusca. There are so many characteristic feature in phylum Mollusca. It is the second largest phylum. It may be free living or sedentary. It may be living on the terrestrial, aquatic and or marshy places. Body plan is tube within tube, bilaterally symmetrical. Torsion takes place in this phylum. Okay. Then visceral mass, head and foot, body divisible into these parts. Visceral mass is enclosed in the mantle cavity called as calcareous cell. Okay, digestive system is complete. Circulatory system is open type. Hemocyanin is the respiratory segment or pigment present in this phylum. Then organ of Bogunus is for excretion. Then sexes are separate. They are oviparous, that means egg laying. Radula is the rasping organs present in the buccal cavity. Okay, and pearl oyster are having their economic importance. They gives precious pearls. This is about the phylum Mollusca. In the next lecture, we are going to see the remaining phylums. Okay, thank you.